Today's block, as decided by the cursed wheel, was water, or H2O for those of you who passed 8th grade chemistry, and it's essential for life, but it's not very good for building, and unluckily for me, this is my block of choice. Unfortunately for me, this cursed wheel had already decided my fate, and I was left staring at my screen, jaw dropped like a 2000s Pitbull song, because how on God's green earth was I meant to use a block that was better suited for a water wiggler than a construction material? And yes, some of you may be too young to understand that reference, but the thing was like trying to wrangle a dead fish on land every time you wanted to so much as look at it. Bottom line, this block, if you're nice enough to even call it that, wasn't going to be easy. At first, I thought I'd do something funny, maybe make a house entirely out of water, laugh at it and move on, but that just did not feel right. So, in typical Karma fashion, I needed to give myself more of a challenge instead of some discount Temu build. So naturally, I did what any reasonable person would do and avoided the problem entirely. Instead of figuring out how to build with water, I decided on the procrastination route and let future me figure out the rest. In my defense, lighthouses technically do involve water, just emotionally, not structurally. The plan, if you could even call it that, was to let the water be atmospheric rather than the focus of the build. I had a brief flash of inspiration for crashing waves against a cliff face, allowing the water to do what it does best, which is be dramatic and be problematic. The only problem with this master heist level operation, I've never built a lighthouse before, or crashing waves for that matter. In fact, both of those sounded so far outside of my wheelhouse, we might as well have been in space. But like everything in these chaos builds, I just had to hope Red Bull found me because I was going to need some serious wings to pull this off. Even at this point in the build with the structure half done, I was still holding out the hope that I was slowly digging myself out of a soggy hole of my own making and not making my own grave. I was committed to this idea and I was not going to allow myself to trip now. If nothing else, I knew I'd end up with maybe a passable lighthouse. Or just a cautionary tale to builders advising against the use of liquids as their primary inspiration for any structure they're building. Either way, it was going to make good content, so I pressed on despite the adversity. I needed the cliffs to loom over the scene, tall and dramatic, intimidating enough that my crashing waves might actually read as intentional and not just a tragic plumbing accident from a sink. And boy, they were going to need an absolute miracle to even look halfway passable. I had never done this before, and I really needed an angel just to descend from the heaven, pat me on the head and say, "It's okay, you tried," even though they looked terrible. And my oh my, I tried to save it, but there was nothing in this earth that could have made this possible. No trapdoors, no slabs, no nothing. It looked absolutely horrendous, and I think it might be my worst build to date, conceptually and in practice. By the end of it all, when I stepped back, if I squinted just hard enough and maybe didn't replace the blocks to water, I could say that this is a college try in a good direction. And it was a really good attempt at something that was wholly impossible to pull off. So I hope you enjoyed, and if down in the comments below you could leave how you think this build ranks on a scale of 1 to 10, I really appreciate all the support, and I'm really thankful for any of you who end up watching this.